Patreon was built as a platform to support your favorite creators, a direct pipeline for fans to fund artists, podcasters, and influencers. Today, its top earners rake in millions per year, but in its infancy, it faced something darker, a calculated attempt to bankrupt the company by weaponizing its own terms of service. What happens when a washed-up comic, a failed fantasy author, and a pack of YouTube grifter lawyers launch a lawsuit they don't plan to win?
All right, patreon.com/WDTL. Become a Patreon. It's the most reliable platform that they won't kick me off, I don't think. I almost intentionally sometimes will force these people's hands. I think there's going to be a massive lawsuit down the line. I'm even thinking about suing Twitter. If there's some lawyers that have contacted me that want to do it for free just to make a name for themselves.
You get the story of how a $3.5 million legal bluff turned into concrete slabs in Idaho, and the loyal donors left holding the bag. This is AI Grift Patrol, and this is from lawsuit to land scam, the Beartaria bait and switch. In the fall of 2019, Owen Benjamin was banned from Patreon for hate speech.
So I recently got this message from Patreon, basically saying that their tweets you've published and that have been removed from Twitter, yeah, because I've been permanently banned, perpetuate negative stereotypes concerning protected classes. That's a haunting label, protected classes. I'm specifically referencing your tweet concerning black people and AIDS. Hilarious tweet, by the way. Your recent Facebook post and live streams about Hollywood and rape survivors violates our guidelines. Patreon does not allow shaming private or public survivors of sexual assault. Where I talked about Louis C.K.'s allegations from girls I knew before he was shamed. And I was told I couldn't talk about those things. So Patreon is the bad guy. Patreon's defending the pedophiles. Okay, so then Patreon does not allow shaming private or public survivors of sexual assault. I understand you are aiming for shock value in your work, whether or not shock value is the sole intent. Patreon draws the line at content containing hateful rhetoric and harassing sexual assault victims. No, I'm mocking the sexual assault that they endured. And how dare they speak on behalf of rape survivors? How do they know I'm not a rape survivor? Why would anyone assume they know anything about rape surviving? You may consider this as censorship. Of course I do. And be tempted to continue to act as a provocateur in defense of freedom of speech. Of course I will. I want to remind you that freedom of speech allows a platform such as Patreon to create a community with our own guidelines. These guidelines are designed to ensure that creators of all types can use Patreon effectively to build their creative business. Oh, by the way, lawsuits on the way, boys.
But instead of moving on, he wanted revenge.
There's another gear that kicks in when someone steals money from me. Not because I care about the money, but because I get into game mode. This is my manifesto. I want people to think about these thoughts for years to come.
And enlisted the help of Vox Day and Mike Cernovich.
So,
an article from Cernovich talking about how the new arbitration rules in California spell disaster for companies like Patreon.
The plan? Abuse California's arbitration laws, flood Patreon with thousands of individual claims, and bleed them dry. A legal denial of service attack. And the goal? Acquire a $2.2 million payout. No court, not trial, just a shake and a check.
Dude, you guys are fucked. Not me. I forgot I had Patreon. I wrote back to the sodomite. I forgot I had Patreon. Have a great weekend. And it's that level of filth. That like mid-management sodomite, grabbler, pervert, trans, gamma male, just bane of existence and civilization, right? Just these self-hating, human-hating, satanic, butt-fucking, cocaine-snorting retards that are sabotaging their own companies just to spite a giant legend.
Instead of having to worry only about Owen's backers or the backers of anyone else who's been deplatformed on Patreon, they just created the potential for a class action by every single member of Patreon. I was talking to a lawyer, and He literally laughed out loud when he read the thing, and he said, "I can't believe they did this." And I said, "So do you want lead?" And he said, "Oh yes." Oh yes. So
we're not in the complaining business. So just throwing this out there, if you were ever my Patreon, why didn't they laugh at gmail.com? Let me know your Patreon number that you were, or whatever, the email you used, and how much you were supporting for, and let me know if, you want to be a part of something really fun.
But Owen got greedy. He quietly raised the demand to $3.5 million, never telling his followers they were the bait in an extortion scheme.
Not allowed on Twitter. I'm not allowed on Facebook. I'm not allowed on Patreon. Not on Patreon. It's not on Twitter. Not allowed on PayPal, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Patreon. Not allowed. Kicked off of Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, PayPal, YouTube. Patreon kicked me out. We're suing them intensely. Do what me and Vox have been doing with Patreon. We've been suing them for months. Do you know how much money we've cost them? It's amazing.
To sell the scam, Owen needed credibility. Big YouTubers fell in line fast. Rakieta Law, Tim Pool, Viva Frei, and The Quartering. They all pushed Vox and Owen's failed scheme as a free speech revolution.
For the time being, Patreon is going to have to proceed with its claims before arbitration with all of the claimants, notwithstanding the fact that there are multiple claims before arbitration with whatever costs that is going to entail. And to the extent that you think it is big tech censorship, this is how you fight big tech censorship, by making it cost the money to do it.
Another user of Patreon, Owen Benjamin, who, according to the Daily Dot, they call him far right, they call him whatever. I really don't know anything about the guy. He got banned for hate speech, except he filed an arbitration claim against Patreon, and so did a whole bunch of he told his patrons to do the same thing.
This is breaking news via Mike Cernovich, who has been following a case with Patreon for weeks now. Well, last October, Patreon banned Owen Benjamin, a commentator and self-styled comedian, for violating its policies against words they don't like.
They're in hot water. They all forced arbitration provisions on all of us. And then now those arbitration provisions are coming back to bite them.
Chernovich hyped it on Twitter as how you fight back. Randazza was floated as the legal muscle, except it wasn't. Meanwhile, smaller channels like eScorpio broke the story wide open.
This is not now, nor has it ever been a case about free speech. Despite hiring an honest-to-goodness First Amendment creepy porn lawyer in Mark Randazza, this lawsuit and the arbitrations have no free speech implications whatsoever. What makes this point especially laughable is that the masterminds of Cernovich, Beal, and Benjamin are some of the most ban-happy individuals around. They routinely silence anyone who even slightly disagrees with them, including their most diehard supporters. Censorship and deplatforming will not cease because of this litigation. No, the opposite will be the case. This will have the effect of big tech becoming more stringent in the wording and application of their terms of service, as is already happening.
They got no credit, no support, just silence. On camera, Owen told his followers he just wanted to teach Patreon a lesson and be let back on the platform. What he never disclosed was that behind the scenes, he was demanding $3.5 million for himself, using his own fans as leverage in an extortion scheme. October 24, 2019, Owen files an arbitration claim against Patreon. On November 12th, 2019, Owen's attorney tells Patreon that 83 of Owen's fans also intend to file claims. On November 15th, 2019, Owen offers to settle for $2.2 million. On December 16th, 2019, Owen modifies his offer to $3.5 million, or Patreon will face 100 claims. On January 1st, 2020, Patreon updates their terms of service to prohibit bring-in claims over another user's termination. On January 6th, 2020, 100 of Owen's fans file separate arbitration claims against Patreon. Patreon responds by suing 72 Owen fans on the grounds that they had violated terms of use by bringing their arbitration claims. Patreon alleges the arbitration claims are shams as part of an extortion attempt by Owen. Patreon cites the fact that Owen offered to settle all claims, Owens and the Bears, for millions of dollars to be paid solely to Owen. Patreon called their bluff and sued them in return. In a panic, Owen brought Vox Day on stream, not to defend them in court, but to defend the narrative.
Patreon has filed a lawsuit in California against 72 of the backers who are in arbitration against them. We had to send them by registered mail the demand. You send the demand, and then it has to be registered so that they got it. It's called being served. That's where being served comes from.
They pitched legal analogies like a multi-level marketing cult, trying to keep the Bears loyal and liable.
We're beginning to question if they might have gotten their so-called legal degrees in a cereal box or something. It would be like you and I deciding that we're going to put Patreon on trial for deplatforming you. And so we're going to meet in your living room and we're going to talk to George and Amy and Charlie and Walter and make a determination. It's as if you were being accused of committing murder. And then you said, no, I didn't commit the murder. I'm going to prove it. And then you went to a judge, and the thing says, on 9/57, I drove to his house. At 10:15, we got in an argument. At 10:30, I shot him in the back of the head. And at 11 p.m., I buried the body in the garden where you'll find it.
I rest my case.
I rest my case. I mean,
we're not George Floyd here, guys. We don't do home invasions.
So they tried this Hail Mary, but the funny thing is they just realized that they did the equivalent of calling a Hail Mary in the sixth quarter.
Right.
Don't worry about it. Okay? First of all, we're going to win. Second of all, there may not even be a game.
I picture them like the Better Call Saul lawyers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Behind the scenes, Owen was panic selling. He was liquidating over $1.6 million in real estate properties, a fact uncovered by independent investigator Covert Radio. He funneled everything through LLCs, buying from one, selling to another, shielding it all in case the Patreon lawsuit exploded.
Struggle Bear LLC, from my account, owned this. 427, list it. 450. What'd they get? They sold it in December of 2020. They got $390 for it. That's the Airbnb right here. Then Struggle Bear LLC also owned this property here, which I've covered this before. Here's what it sold for. Again, listed October 2020. Listed for $150,000, which is, $50K above what he bought it for. He sold it. The pending sale started immediately. He finally went through early 2021. He sold it for $120,000, $120,000.
Like you sell your house, what do you put in? Like the stock market, you get a bunch of dollars. Well, we did just sell one of our properties to get this next one. So I feel good about the sale though. All right, put the money from the house into land in Idaho. But no, I don't want to talk about it with you guys anymore. I don't want it to be a public discussion where everybody has a fucking opinion about it. And I also think this area is going to be fine. I think that the whole point of the bear trail is every 5 hours we have a new bear location. For that, because we realize that we can get to our next destination on one tank of gas.
The Patreon lawsuit started in 2019 effectively, okay? Fire sale, panic, dump it all. But this is the Struggle Bear LLC headquarters right here, listed. Let's see here. We listed for April 2020. April, sell. He took a loss on it. He took a loss from what he purchased. He sold it for 12% under what he paid for it. What does that mean? What, that sounds to me like somebody desperate to sell, right? He was building a war chest, possibly. Or he was having a fire sale to get all the property out of his name, get it into other places so that they can't go after it for the lawsuit.
Every transaction ran through a spiderweb of LLCs, not for efficiency, but to shield his assets if Patreon's lawyers came knocking.
I have LLCs. Buying land has to be personal. You can't do it. You can do it commercial. I don't know. I think it's infrastructure that you can depreciate, or if you rent. That's why so many places lease. Because when you buy land, it's just a capital asset. You can't say, trust me, I tried. I was like, we're doing it's for Beartaria Times. We got dude, trust me, I gave it my best shot. And they're like, no. Jesus had to pay taxes. Yeah. Thanks for doing all the annoying shit. I want to hope to see it someday. Oh, you'll see it one day. It's going to be awesome. Rendering Caesar's what's supposed to be done.
In just roughly 6 months after the Patreon lawsuit was initiated, after he realized, oh shit, I'm not going to extort him. They're going for arbitration. He had a fire sale. And you can see he was so desperate to sell, he took losses. He walked into Idaho, start building immediately, and June 30th, knowing he's selling all of his property, he's building a war chest of cash, he started soliciting the public because he knew that he was about to lose his ass. He just wanted to protect his properties and his investments, in my opinion.
Walter likes it more there than here now. And I have a 3,000 square foot house here. I'm not going to sell this house. It's going to be part of the Bear Trail.
And he still told them he'd never sell Ursa Manor in Washington because it would be for bear travelers. He was already listing it for sale while saying that.
Eventually, it's going to be a hub for bear travelers and stuff like that. There's no point in selling it. What am I going to do with the money? You know?
I just have a feeling like he regrets ever leaving here. I really have that feeling because it's all going to go away, Owen. It's all going to go away. And it truly is the seed you have sown. It really, truthfully is. And that's just my opinion, but this is the corporate-owned Ursa Manor. He listed it on November the 23rd of 2020. He had it sold within a month. Because, again, the height of COVID, panic, everybody wants to move out of the cities. This is Ursa Manor, the original. And I really genuinely believe he regrets leaving here ever. This is in a beautiful area. It's close to her parents, rich area, high demographics, plenty of land, nice privacy up around a hill. You know, it's very nice, very nice. Fancy boy. And I'm not going to show you every room, but this house is beautiful.
Things are going really good. Dude, do I think it's understandable with the fact I'm suing Patreon, dealing with the apocalypse, live streaming 4 hours a day, running a farm, and starting a village? Yeah, that stress gets to people, but I still hold myself to a higher standard than that.
At the height of COVID and the lawsuit collapsing, Owen launched a new fundraiser, a land scam disguised as a campground utopia.
Guys, I wasn't going to start looking into Bear Trail stuff, but the perfect one is for sale. And the Patreon lawsuit is so absurd, I don't want it to hold me up anymore.
700 supporters would each get 2 weeks of free camping per year on his Ursa Rio property in northern Idaho.
There is a compound, 50,000 square feet, 20, 30 separate buildings, full functional wilderness camp, North Idaho, $1.5 million, 210 or 211 acres. So I was thinking, just throwing this out there, let me know what you guys think. Do you think we could raise the money for that? If 5,000 people chipped in $400 and in return they got 2 weeks there, any 2 week vacation they want, would that be possible?
He called it a community, a sanctuary, a retreat.
$400 is 1 day pay for me. I mean, yes, guys, that's what I'm talking about. Think about what you can get back for that. We can set up a place where we teach our kids how to be men. Call it Bear-B&B. Oh, Bear-B&B. Yes. Love Bear-B&B. Guys, we can do stand-up classes. Fuck yeah. Guys, we're reworking education. If we can get $1.5 million within 2 weeks, we can have Beartaria. 211 acres in an area secured by bears politically in the most beautiful part of the country, 5 hours from Amy's parents, so we wouldn't even be leaving Amy's parents, with an area that we could have retreats, campfires, endless possibilities. But if we don't hit the goal, I want to figure out how I want to figure out how I would get you the money back. I'll give $1,000. Oh, Beartaria could seriously fucking happen. There's a 50-50 chance we don't hit the mark, and I don't want to keep any of your money if we don't hit the mark. Retreat to the Mountains. Incredible offering consists of 211 acres with approximately 45 buildings, including nearly 50,000 square feet, former home of Four Seasons full-time residential school, and summer wilderness camp. Allows for endless opportunities. Brought tear to my eye. Right. Now you guys see, do you think we can get that? Holy God. Yeah, guys. This is once in a lifetime shit. I'll throw in 10K. Oh God, we could seriously get Beartaria. Love, someone said they'd throw in 10K. You get something named after you, where I can actually live with my family there and not be creeped out when people are staying there because it's so fucking big. And bear in mind, I'm not saying everyone's moving to Beartaria. Just understand that. Just for the record, I'm not starting a town. I'm starting a retreat. I'm starting a place where people can come on retreat, bring their families, like learn shit, commune with each other, grow things, learn how to homestead. Guys, that's our hill. This dream will come true. I'll earn the money from my own house and land, and I will always designate a portion for the bears because of all the generosity I've seen. I will. I come through, even if I have to sell everything I have. The majority of the money is still going to be coming from me, but I can't afford it all myself, and I want you guys to be a part of it. And I could right now, with my money and Beartaria money, buy land and be like, okay, you guys have campgrounds, so instead of the $40, it's not about money, it's about love.
The promises changed daily. First, land for the bears, then land for his family, then land for a community campground.
So what do you guys think of me and Amy and the boys and the family getting a home area? Because trying to find a land with a house on it that is good enough for Amy for feeling good in the winter, because winters are tough in North Idaho. With like 100 acres the fundraising is going excellent. I say let's set a goal. Let's try and hit 300K by August 1st. It's a good goal.
The money games. Once the greed engine kicked in, Owen worked the emotional levers. One stream he'd say they'd hit $200,000 in the first 24 hours. Another stream he'd set a goal of $300,000 by month's end. Numbers floated, shifted, disappeared, like the math was made of fog.
Because I was so pumped. We got 10% of our goal immediately without even really, just from streaming from piano last night. So this is the plan moving forward. The best way to do this is we dream and come up with stuff, but don't dream in a way that's like you get resentful or it didn't come true. Like right now, last night we had this amazing stream about Beartaria, Ursa Mountain. We fundraised 10% of $2 million immediately just from that stream. You know, we're all fired up. It's perfect. All this, and then my realtor's like, oh, they already have 4 offers and you need proof of funds in 3 days for $1.7 million. I'm like, oh, well, that's the end of that.
On stream, he told his followers that he couldn't buy the original crowdfunded property because he didn't have proof of funds for around $1.5 million. But the fire sale tells a different story. He absolutely did. Over the next few weeks, he floated number after number, hoping no one would track the math.
How much you raised? I think like 70 grand. Guys, we've raised $70,000 for Beartaria. I know the original goal was 2 million immediately, and we get, guys, that's unbelievable. That's phenomenal. People just have looked at that link and said, and that's just from the digital. And they've said, yeah, I want to contribute to that. Why? Because I'm a fucking power plant. You know I'm not a liar. People have given me $70,000 and just said, make something great. I believe in you. I think I raised like $270 or something. And it was $91,000 in taxes and the land's like $185,000. It was like very, very down to the wire. Oh, it might be nice to have all your money. I have like no money now. I just paid $91,000 in taxes and bought Beartaria lands. That's all my money. But I'm still working on selling that effing house. I'll get a nice infusion once that goes through. So, you know, everything's going smoothly, but fucking IRS. Do you think you will be my super Jewish accountant today told me he was proud of me. It like meant a lot to me. He gets it.
And when he needed more money, he cried on stream and moved the goalposts.
This is what I'm facing in this Patreon bullshit. The threats, the financial threats. That's what my dad did to me my whole childhood. You have to get to a point when you say, it's only money, or else you're fucked. Or else you're bragging about how many bars you have. You're laughing about all the pedophiles in your parishes. I know that path. And yeah, I don't like firing up the live stream and being all weepy and fucking sad, but this isn't sadness. This isn't despair. This is triumph. And it makes your voice do that. And I don't like it. I don't like talking like this. I feel like a pussy. But it is what it is. This is how trauma gets out. His fight were the bankers that took his house when he was a kid. So fucking true. Like your fight is in your heart. My fight is my fucking dad. Just going, we're gonna be kicked out at any moment. I'm a little kid clawing through garbage cans, getting nickels. You know, trying desperately to give my dad, dude, I used to give my dad like a little bowl of nickels so he wouldn't kill himself. Meanwhile, he's hoarding all the money and he gave $250,000 to a fucking homo because of blackmail. Like you start looking around your family and your house and you're like, they want to take everything. And in these economic times, I've been facing for months the possibility that I will have $0. And here's the funniest part. I was still thinking of ways to keep Beartaria money away from me so that we could still do campgrounds. That's hilarious. That's when you think these things, you trust yourself where you're like, we'll be okay. Because no matter what, you know, you'll get, if your intentions are good, no matter what they do, you're fine. They can't take what actually matters though. Exactly. And Amy was like, we'll get by.
The reality check. Today, years later, the so-called campground still doesn't exist. The land, 100% in Owen's name, and anyone who's dared to point that out or ask for a refund has been banned, humiliated, and exiled from the community. It wasn't free speech. It wasn't community building. It was a Patreon extortion scheme that failed and mutated into a land scam that still pays dividends for its creator, just not for the people who funded it. Not cabins, not roads, not electricity, just 6 oversized concrete pads and a YouTube channel. Not a homestead, not a community, a Airbnb scam disguised as a movement. Let's remember who helped build this scam. Rakieta Law gave Vox his platform. Mike Cernovich shilled the arbitration bluff. Mark Randazza never showed up when donors needed real help. Vox Day vanished after Patreon refused to pay. Owen Benjamin rebranded the wreckage into Beartaria. Thank you for watching. This was AI Grift Patrol, from lawsuit to land scam. In part 3, we dive into the Beartaria Ozark scam, unpaid vendors, and the lawsuit Owen can't laugh off. Until then, shout out to Covert Radio, Escorpio, Dark Lord Nate, and the Reddit archivist for preserving the truth.